I'm Helen Wright, the Deputy Editor of International Construction and Construction Euro magazine, and I'm here at Bauma 2013 on the New Holland stand with CNH President Mario Gaspari. Mario,
Hi.
We're in a very interesting market at the moment, and I wanted to ask you, in terms of general market conditions, do you see an uptick in sales this year from a global perspective? How confident are you?
Well, as you said, it's very interesting. I would say maybe better saying challenging. Obviously, the economy worldwide is not as great as everybody would expect. Today we are in Europe, and here in Europe, for sure, there is a certain uncertainty. We have an impact in several countries from government budget cut, so that we see a trend quite, let's say, depressed in most of the European markets. Probably the only good news are coming from the Nordic, Scandinavian countries, while, as you know, South Europe has been already in a sort of depression for quite a long time. And I think the largest market, like Germany, of course, and France, UK, started to show some difficulties. Mm-hmm. So it's a moment that I would say show some put the companies in a little bit of challenges condition. And maybe also is the time for important changes in the companies, for sure, as far as we are concerned, to take, you know, sometimes different approach, a different direction to find opportunity to improve. When everything is fine, you are not looking at this type of opportunities. If I look outside Europe, there is certainly a more positive market sentiment in the North America and in Latin America markets. North America, because there is certainly a good recovery in the housing market, and quite strong oil and gas industry. So we see this already since last year. And in fact, we are quite pleased with the growth that we had in 2012 and still continuing in 2013. The other positive market, and it's a good news for us given our strong presence, is Brazil. Even though last year, in the end, the economy growth was quite small for a market with the potential of Brazil. The construction industry is quite dynamic, and there are a lot of projects on the table, partly because of the big events that are forthcoming, and also for the importance to develop infrastructure in terms of transportation, both highways and railways. And this is a great opportunity for us, where with both brands, both Case and New Holland, we command a leadership position. Rest of the world, of course, everyone is looking at India and China mainly, and at the moment China is not doing that well. The measure to control, of course, the inflation and the housing kind of speculations have been reducing a lot the market, and also the mining industry is not at its best. So there are some difficulties there. For us, luckily, so far we were not very much exposed to the Chinese market, because the the strategy that we had so far was more concentrated on the Americas and Europe, Africa, Middle East. So it's more for the long term that we see still anyway, obviously positively China, and we will invest more in the coming years. And the other market that I think is certainly another one of those with big potential is India, where the market is not what we would expect for an economy like India, and with the type of infrastructure that they need to build. But again, it's a market that has a huge potential, and we've been investing since 2011 when we took over a joint venture we had there, and this year from this initial plant we will increase our footprint to expand the product offering beyond the product that we've been selling under Case brand for a significant number of years.
The CNH obviously has the Case and New Holland brands, and there's lots of new machines on show at Bauma. How important is a show like Bauma for gauging confidence in the market?
Well, I think the first positive surprise that I had yesterday, that was the first day of the show, was that the people I was talking to, both dealers, customers, and to a certain extent those people from the press, they seem to be looking more optimistically the market condition than I do.
Talking up the market a little bit.
Yeah, no, because probably sometimes we are too much influenced by the data reported by the different associations, which are essential for us to monitor how the things are going in different parts of the world. So that's what I think the show allow us to meet so many people in the industry, in the different segments of the industry, from the civil construction to road construction, mining, and so on, and engage much better what are the real situation in the market.
And we have the Tier 4 final models on the stand,
yeah.
The new MIDI excavators from New Holland and from Case. A lot of development went into making these machines, I'm sure, with the new engines that comply with the 2014
yes.
laws. Can I ask you firstly what feedback has been like from customers at the show and from the market in general on these new machines?
Well, I think certainly the investment that we have put in this development of Tier 4 emission compliance machines has been quite significant, and I think when you visit a show like this, you see that it's been a little bit the trend today from all the manufacturers. So the main focus is achieve this emission level, and then of course you see some other improvement in the product, but definitely I think like for us this is the main focus today. As far as our solutions, I think the technology that we have adopted with our sister company FPT or Fiat Powertrain, which come under the same umbrella of Fiat Industrial, where we have now several companies, the CNH agricultural equipment, CNH construction equipment, the Iveco trucks, buses, and the Fiat Powertrain, make us in a leading position in the development of engine and powertrain. So the solution that we adopted starting last year certainly has given us very positive feedback. Was first relaunch on the range of wheel loaders. And today we have customers that are extremely pleased with the productivity of the machine, and especially the fuel efficiency that we are offering with our SCR solution.
Sure, but with so much effort on the Tier 4 final and Stage 4 machines for Europe, these are just two markets in the world, and there's a whole other world out there at Stage 3 or below. So to what extent do you see these emissions regulations as a burden, or are they more of an opportunity?
But I think from our side has been more an opportunity, because since of course everyone has to comply, I think the solution that we took has given us this edge in terms of, as I said, fuel efficiency, but also in terms of cost of the solution. What I mean is that, as you know, the Tier 4 was split in two different stages. And when we took the decision to go for this solution, we moved for the first stage, so the Tier 4 interim, with a solution that was already including most of the components that then will allow us to make the second and final step to Tier 4 final. So for us, essentially, now the next move to Tier 4 final is a very small step. We don't have to make a huge investment, and we don't have to add a lot of cost to the machine, and so obviously an advantage for the final customer.
Fine. Let's move on to a decision that was made at the end of last year. CNH and Kobelco decided to unwind their 10-year excavator joint venture and cross-share holdings. Can you explain a little bit more about the strategy behind this decision?
Yes, this association, let's say, this cooperation has been very positive, I think, for both companies for a number of years. For sure, this allows us to become much more competent on the excavator technology, and has been allowing us to penetrate several markets with different degree of success. However, as this period extended for 10 years, we started to see that there were also some limitation to our ability to become a much bigger player at global level. Limitations that are, of course, in terms of controlling our destiny on a technology front, and especially also in accessing basically the Asia-Pacific market, because according to what was in the original agreement, the responsibility for distribution in the Asia-Pacific market was under the Kobelco control.
And you'll be targeting Asia-Pacific now?
And obviously, the Asia-Pacific market, when you put everything together, is probably today close to 50% of the total industry.
Right.
So if you want to really play global, you have to be there. And of course, Kobelco obviously looked at that market more for his own product, and not enough, I would say, not meeting our expectations for the product that are belonging to our own development and plant that we have around the world. So this is the 2013 is a year of transition, where we will gradually take over the direct responsibility, starting from the Australian market and then moving to the let's say Southeast Asia market that we will manage from a Singapore office. And so by 2013 we will have completed the takeover, and we will be able to start and develop further the growth in these markets, develop the network in accordance with our plans and our standards.
Are there any plans to start manufacturing somewhere in the Asia?
Well, at the moment in Asia we are concentrating on the Indian manufacturing plant that we have, and there I think both for domestic demand, but also for export markets. Of course, I'm still talking the non-regulated markets, so yeah. Africa, Middle East, and probably Asia Pacific. We are looking at possible second facility where we will have a new product more in the heavy line. If more footprint in Asia Pacific will be required, will depend now how once we start to get much more familiar with the markets, but especially with the network that we have, and understand the full potential for our sales, then we will reassess the need for maybe some further manufacturing footprint expansion.
Thank you. That's a good answer. Let's look ahead beyond 2014 then, a bit of blue sky thinking. Everybody's been working so hard to get the machines ready for Tier 4 final, Stage 4. Beyond the next phase of engines, what do you think is the next big thing for construction machinery? What should we be looking at to be ahead of the curve?
Well, on a product side, I think beside engine, for sure there will be more attention to the transmission, perhaps more hydrostatic or CVT transmissions, or continually variable transmissions. We see for sure more electronics, and this is coming especially with the needs for customers, especially for the fleet owners, to control better their park of machines across different areas where they work, to manage better the maintenance.
Like a sort of telematics.
Like a telematics and everything which is around the telematics, better diagnostic for faster services. So that I see a lot of development in the services area, let's say, to guarantee customer more uptime of their operations. So that's probably and then maybe another area that is going to be further developed is the area of attachments, because at the end of the day, the machines are not able to provide much if you don't have the right attachment for the various applications, and we see the applications becoming, reaching a wider spectrum year after year. So machines that used to be only specific construction, tomorrow you'll see, more involved in some segments which are closer to agriculture, or in the environmental areas, so recycling, waste handling. So that's the area that I think there will be much. I think also the area for sure. It's not just product, because without the services, without the network, it's difficult to provide your customer the solution. So definitely there will be a lot of work that will be done in the upgrading and creating more professional dealers. Consolidation on network will be something that will happen in the future, I think.
One final question, if you don't mind. Just from wandering around the Bauma show, I've seen a lot of talk and a lot of machines that are displaying hybrid technology, which seems to be a bit of a fad in the industry at the moment. How commercially viable do you think these machines are, and where do you think that lies in the future of construction machinery? Will we start seeing mass-produced hybrid machines, and does CNH have any plans to develop anything like that?
I think if I also see what's happening in the automotive in general, certainly it's a niche that should be assessed and explored. I don't think that in a mid-long term will be probably a big thing. We see also that in the automotive business, it takes quite a long time before you get really because of the cost, because of the even mentality. So it's a bit of a effort required to really create a significant segment in this business. But I think if one look very long term, I don't think we can neglect. So it's something that we will consider. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mario, for your time today. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much.